So it also seems like Netflix isn't the only one contemplating a theatrical model, as Amazon and Amazon Studios are set to release 12 to 15 movies a year theatrically starting next year. And I'm going, okay, way to, dip your toes in the water. But no, Amazon's not known for that. They're just going to cannonball into this and just go, we're going to dump every movie. I think this is a great idea. But 12 to 15 movies to start off with might be pushing it a little bit.
Just a little bit.
That being said, when I think 12 to 15 movies, I'm always thinking like The Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt and Chris McKay directing it, like the big budget stuff. But Amazon also is known for a lot of smaller, lower budget, like rom-coms or just lower budget stuff, or movies of varying budgets. Like they had The Big Sick, I think. Or Samaritan is probably mid-level. So it wouldn't necessarily be big budget stuff. Like Disney Universal released probably this many movies. Well, Disney used to, and they will again, thanks to the good Bob, not the bad Bob. But Universal, look at the variety. The good Bob, not the bad Bob.
The good Bob, not the bad Bob.
But Amazon, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, to me it makes sense. I in a world, what I'm picturing is seeing. I mean, if we're asking Netflix to put out their shows, do their finales in theaters, to me, thinking of like Amazon doing like are they doing House of No, it's HBO that's doing House of the Dragon.
Yeah, they're doing House of the Dragon.
But like Rings of Power, doing a Rings of Power special
in theaters.
In theaters? Are you kidding me? I would
The Invincible season 2 premiere in theaters.
Stop. Don't even. Oh my gosh. Scrap the whole show. Make me a movie about season 2. Like that's all I care. Like or just at all.
Or
just
a movie.
Give me season
or
2.
a movie.
Yes, like I just
and it could still be J.K. Simmons.
Yes, please. Oh my gosh. That is easily. Oh my gosh. Yes, that's such a good performance for him. But yeah, like I think it makes sense. I think people, at the end of the day, the theater, as much as I hate that AMC commercial in the theater where they're like,
heartbreak's not so bad in a place like this.
I wanted to smack my head in the wall every single time, because like without getting too much into it, like I don't know why I'm seeing a commercial for the theater that I'm in to see a movie.
I've never understood that. Or
like,
they're just like,
that
have our membership card. That's a great idea. Why don't you advertise it in some place besides the movie theater? I've never understood why theaters don't advertise themselves anywhere but the theater. It's like when you're sitting in a movie theater where they go, all right, right when the movie's about to start, don't forget your drinks and popcorn. Guys, you don't have any more trailers.
I'm already here.
If I have my popcorn and drink, I'm going to have it now, not like... You should have a different timing on this. Cut down on commercials before the movies, please.
Please. Oh my gosh. Like it's gotten to the point where it's like, hey, I guess it's 15 minutes of trailers, then the movie starts. But then you have all of the AMC commerosals and stuff.
Sign up for AMC rewards. Here's your safety exits nearest you.
Anyway, not the point. But I think as much as I hate that commercial, at the end of the day, the best way to see a movie, I think, is still in theaters. Yes, it's more comfortable at home, but it's just better in theaters. And I think it's great to see not just Netflix, but also Amazon, and now some of the other, the big boys also realizing that as well. Like, oh, well, we can still make the amount of money that we want to make. It kind of sucks for like movies like Strange World that show that if you screw them on the marketing, they're still not going to do well. So it's regardless of how good or bad the movie is. But at the end of the day, I still think theaters are the way to go. I know that you and I had our doubts, especially for when there was question if Regal was going to go down there. AMC filed for bankruptcy. It was like, okay, cool. Well, 5 years time, we might not have theaters, but I think this is this past year has shown that you can still release a movie into theaters and still make the normal, quote unquote, normal amount of money that you would come to expect.
I also think, without people really calling attention to it, Amazon has very quietly developed a very good library of original movies. I trust Amazon original movie more so than Netflix original movie if I
Yeah,
see that tagline. Like, Being the Ricardos by Aaron Sorkin is fantastic. The Tomorrow War is nothing
actually,
spectacular, but it feels very much like a throwback 90s, early 2000s action movie, and it's very
yeah,
entertaining. Um, The Lost City of Z with Charlie Hunnam, I still maintain is one of the most underrated movies I've ever seen. I love that movie. I think Amazon has very quietly been developing quite a reputation, and also this makes sense because if you remember a few months ago, we talked about Amazon acquired MGM. So
hmm
they're the ones making the Creed movies going forward. If they make any more Rocky movies, if Stallone, doesn't sue them for being a grumpy old man. Um, or all the James Bond movies, I think now have to go through Amazon because that's MGM. They own MGM now. So Amazon's, they may be kind of sketchy, but they're not dumb. They're going, yeah, we just bought a movie studio. Let's release those in theaters and not just put everything on streaming. They now have something in their corner with MGM that it makes sense to release movies theatrically when you actually have a studio making stuff for you as opposed to in-house.
yeah, absolutely. And I think there's a point too of like now realizing how many like the collection of movies that they do have is very much like, oh well, maybe their goal of 12 to 15 movies is actually not that, like, that's pretty obtainable. So we'll see, but it's good to see more companies putting more emphasis on going to a theater to see movies.
Emphasis.
Emphasis.